Item 2 on the other paper, communication from the chair.
Thank you. Colleagues, I welcome you to today's sitting. In the public gallery this afternoon, we have pupils and teachers of Holistic Junior School from Bitereko Sub-County, Mitoma District. They are represented in Parliament by Thomas Tayewa, MP in the North County, and Honorable Juliet Agasha Vashisha. And when I'm blessed and I get such an opportunity, I think that is a sufficient communication for today. Matters of national importance. Honorable Kabahenda Flavia. Honorable Pachuto, reaction to communication.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for giving the people of Pakwach opportunity to make a comment on your communication today. Right Honorable Speaker, we've known leaders in this country, but you are one of such leaders, great leaders, not just leaders, that Mitoma has blessed this country with. Right Honorable Speaker, I say this from the bottom of my heart. There are many people who will deceive you and want to talk good things when you are dead. But I want to tell you that the people of Pakwach never lie. That's why, Right Honorable Speaker, yesterday I was disturbed because the River Nile banks have burst itself. And Right Honorable Speaker, there are very many young people like this from Pakwach who are not able to access schools. And there are teachers who have rebelled because they want motorized boats from the office of the Prime Minister because they can no longer manage to cross on these small canoes. And because we are blessed with such great leader like you from Mitoma, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to plead with you that this is not the first time that the River Nile has burst itself. And the young Ugandans from Mitoma, like you and the ones who have come here today, are not going to access education. Moreover, at the time so critical, just a few weeks, P7 are beginning examination. Right Honorable Speaker, I thought I should make this comment. I thank you.
Honorable Chief Whip, we have a memorandum of cooperation between Pakwach and Mitoma this week. So I really can't fend for Mitoma alone, and yet we have a cooperation agreement. So please, from the Chief Whip, from the office of the Prime Minister, they need help. The people of Pakwach, they need boats. The children need to cross the river. They also want to come to Parliament and see.
Right Honorable Speaker, I undertake to connect the Honorable Member direct to the responsible Minister such that the issue she has raised can be handled directly.
Thank you. I think Honorable Pachuto, link up with our brother, the Government Chief Whip, okay? Yes, we go on this issue. We ensure these children are helped. Yes. Procedure from Honorable Seungo.
Mr. Speaker, the procedural matter I'm raising, I'm also happy seeing children from Mitoma and the
area you visited.
I visited and where I married from. But the minister promised to give us information, Mr. Speaker, yesterday. Minister of Finance, and fortunately, the Minister of Education is also here. And if the kids from Mitoma are here, without capitation grant.
No, but Honorable Seungo, have you read the order paper? Yeah, Honorable colleagues. Before you come, you don't check on the order paper. I keep my own. Yes. Honorable Flavia Ramoro.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I welcome the children from Mitoma who are here. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise on a matter of national importance that concerns the people of Chegegwa in Kyaka South. and these people are living on and around Chaka-1 refugee land. They have been here, they have been on that land for a long, long time, Right Honorable Speaker, because government transferred the refugees in 1994 from Chaka-1 land to Chaka-2, and so the whole land has been occupied. But these people living on that land, Right Honorable Speaker, have been getting threats since 2007 of irregular evictions, which evictions have even caused them deaths at one time. Right Honorable Speaker, as we talk now, it is not only the people coming from Chegegwa occupying that land, but government in 2016 brought the people of Uganda who had left Tanzania and had been camped in Sango Bay. They brought them to Chaka-1 land, 8,000 of them. And so as we talk now, the same people have started receiving documents, both from the Honorable Minister Hilary Onek and some government entities, to threaten eviction. We have given them PDM money. They cannot invest it because they are living in anxiety, Right Honorable Speaker. We, as members of parliament coming from Chegegwa, have tried to reach out to the Honorable Hilary Onek for a solution-based discussion to no avail. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to request and implore you to cause a meeting between us, the members of parliament of Chegegwa, and the Honorable Hilary Onek, who is the line minister, for us to have a discussion that has solutions on what we should tell these people. Because some of them have even started selling their land at a very small price to go and just languish wherever they can, thinking that anytime they will be evicted, and evicted harshly. Right Honorable Speaker, we are living in anxiety and we don't want that to cause insecurity at this time. I thank you.
Government Chief Whip, I request that I assign you this. You arrange a meeting between the Minister for Disaster Preparedness and the members of Parliament from these affected areas. And I think beyond members of Parliament, you could call LC5 chairpersons, okay, to attend the meeting, and maybe DISO and RDC, so that you have buy-in of the community. They understand really what's going on. Thank you. The government chief whip is going to coordinate this. Thank you. Honorable Acrobat Chiza.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. I also join colleagues to welcome our future leaders from Mitoma who have come to see the proceedings of the House. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise on a matter of national importance regarding the charging of smart fees in most of the secondary schools in the country. Right Honorable Speaker, the initiative of SESMAT was so good when it was being initiated, because when it was started, Ministry of Education used it to train teachers in areas of skills, practical skills, knowledge. Yes, but to our dismay, Right Honorable, since COVID time, according to the information on the ground, teachers, especially from my sub-region, that is the Renzo sub-region, no longer get the training. Even now as we talk, the SESMAT fees has been increased from 1,000 shillings to 2,000. To make matters worse, even UNEB, because UNEB now as we talk, information from head teachers, they are saying to access UNEB stationery, one must pay. So my prayers, Right Honorable Speaker, last year this matter was brought to this House, and the response from the minister was not so clear. So my prayer is that we need a clear response in regard to this. Secondly,
no,
Right Honorable Speaker,
please, we stop there. It's
Okay.
one matter.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Honorable Minister for Education.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank my colleague, Honorable Moses Kiza, for raising this very critical, important issue concerning the secondary science and mathematics program referred to as SESEMAT. Indeed, it is true, Mr. Speaker, this is a program that has been put in place, one of the effective tools that is being implemented in the secondary education to promote science and mathematics. And as you said, very many teachers have benefited to this program, and it is still being implemented. However, the issue that he raised about high charges of fee in order to access this program is something that we need to find out if it is an isolated matter. I want to request that we could liaise with him. He provide to me those specific isolated schools that might be going beyond the program line so that we deal direct with those schools. I beg to request and submit, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, your colleagues. So, Honourable Member, link up with the Honourable Minister. Honourable Megade, Robert.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, in 2022, Parliament passed the Fisheries and Aquaculture Act, and the President assented to the same in March 2023. It is now over a year. The Fisheries Ministry, or Ministry of Agriculture, has failed to table regulations operationalizing this same act. Unfortunately, they continue to implement some of the provisions in this act piecemeal. One of them, the commander FPU banned specific method of fishing for silverfish, which is hurry up. And what is perturbing that she's moving around, telling these people that the reason for delay to table these regulations is because of members of Parliament. And two, is giving specific holidays. That I've given you 2 days to fish, but if it wasn't for those members of Parliament, you would be fishing. So, Mr. Speaker, my prayer, one, to the Minister of Agriculture, because you have directed many times to have different meetings, which have not yielded results. It's for the Minister to table this Parliament, the fisheries and aquaculture regulations. Then the other prayer is for the Minister of Defense. Now that the Commander FPU is not a member of this House, for the Minister of Defense to come with an explanation on the specific allegations by this officer. Those are my prayers. Yes, Honorable Kavus. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this opportunity, unusual opportunity under this item. Mr. Speaker, the information I wanted to share with the Honorable Migade is that the Commandant FPU may choose to visit 2 or 3 learning sites in a district that has 70. And for those 3 learning sites, she gives 2 days grace period for them to fish. The challenge there is with other learning sites she may not have visited. They are under the same conditions. Then the other challenge, Mr. Speaker, is when the minister banned fishing of silverfish, the minister has not come out with any working out document or guidance on how fishing would be resumed. So the resumption of fishing for 2 days using the mechanisms or the techniques the minister banned is also a challenge and causes us political challenges, Mr. Speaker. So we want the minister to not only come up with regulations, but also to come out and state whether she's still in control, the minister, or whether fishing has been taken up by defense, such that we deal with the defense other than the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The member is no longer on the floor. It was Honorable Megadi who gave information. Because I don't know how can Parliament delay. The resolution is that to be brought by the minister. That's what the law says. So how can Parliament be government chief whip? We need the regulations. It's a requirement of the law.
Right Honorable Speaker, in such a situation our hands are tied by the law, because if it is a requirement of the Act, then we have no option but to comply. I wish to undertake, in the absence of the Minister of Agriculture, Animal Husbandry and Fisheries, to communicate this request of Parliament in writing, such that the Minister can take appropriate action as required by the law.
Let the Minister update us on Tuesday. Honorable Kabugo Florence.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I raise on a matter of national importance in regard to the heavy damage that has been caused by River Nyamwamba over years in Kasese town. Right Honorable Speaker, on the 7th day of September, River Nyamwamba burst its banks, found itself in Kasese town, killed people, destroyed houses, and swept away merchandise, leaving the business community in a lot of suffering. Right Honorable Speaker, it has become common that every month of May, June, and October, this river bursts its banks and leaves very many people dead and property destroyed. My prayer, Right Honorable Speaker, before I go to the prayers, it is not happening in Kasese alone, but in Rwenzori sub-region, because districts like Ntoroko, Bondebujo, Bunyangawa, and Kabarole are also affected. My prayers, Right Honorable Speaker, is that you appoint a team of technocrats from the Ministry of Water and Environment and find out exactly what could be the problem in Kasese.
Who should appoint?
I pray that the minister,
Okay.
Right Honorable Speaker, I pray that the minister appoints a team of technocrats to go to Kasese and find out exactly what the problem is, because every now and then we keep talking about this issue that never gets a solution. Number two, I pray that government holds accountable every person that has received money meant to desilt River Nyamwamba. Because we know government has released a lot of money to desilt that river, but we are not seeing what the money is being used for. And the people of Kasese think government has neglected them. Then finally, Right Honorable Speaker, I pray that government identifies disaster-prone areas and relocates people to safe areas for their safety. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Minister for Disaster Preparedness. Oh, that's... I think both of you can contribute. Well, yeah, because water is Minister for Water. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. It is true that what the honorable members raised is a challenge now in Kasese. And Right Honorable Speaker, last week I invited the UN agencies and we had a meeting on looking at the long-term plan handling Kasese, Ntoroko, and Bundibujo. And we invited the members of parliament from Ntoroko, and this is a plan which is underway that we are organizing, and we will be able to have an interface with the community in Kasese. But the Minister of Disasters also sanctioned relief
Thank you. Minister for Water.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity, and I want to thank Honorable Florence for raising the concern of our people. Right Honorable Speaker, let me thank you for checking on me when I was sick, and I'm happy to be back.
You know she's my OG, so you better.
Right Honorable Speaker, the issue of River Nyamamba is a big concern, and as government and the ministry, we have already in place the interministerial committee, which is being chaired by the Right Honorable Prime Minister. And there are already meetings which have been taking place, including last week, because it needs a bigger interventions. We have gotten the environmental issue, which also is evident, but as government, there's also some directives which was also raised from His Excellency the President, that the Interministerial Committee is incorporating. I hope very shortly we shall reach there. But I would also want to get in touch with you, my honorable colleague, really, because there are other interventions that can happen, maybe the clean water, which is needed for our people, but we need to get to also incorporate you so that we get this solution. But as far as we are concerned, there's already an interministerial committee chaired by the Right Honorable Prime Minister. So, but it's good that we get in touch with her too. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Gilbert.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the issues of flooding were raised on the floor of Parliament several times and several years. Right now, the ministry knows that in Kasese, within this specific period of time, there will be flooding. In Ilego, in my district, Amor, where I come from, within this specific time, there will be flooding. And I recall the Ministry of Works, the minister promised on the floor of Parliament that they are working on the permanent solutions almost 3 years ago. Up to now, nothing on the ground. The same problem is ever occurring every year. It is procedural okay if the minister could really be very serious and you put what we are saying into action. Every year we are seeing the same problem and people are suffering.
Thank you. Now, honorable colleagues, yesterday, this is a point I made that they will, as put straight by Honorable Gilbert Oranya, that we know the season. So we requested the Minister for Disaster Preparedness on Wednesday submit to bring a report to the House on how prepared they are to mitigate, because I'm receiving near I don't know how many MPs every week on the issues of disaster, and the answer we get the same. Even on the stores are empty. So, and yet it's coordinated under Office of the Prime Minister. So we requested to bring a report on Wednesday, and then we shall discuss that report. When we are discussing that report, is when all of us will come in. Because like, I don't think Honorable Wemricha can be here now because of what is happening in Toroko. Or during this period, you can never see him here, and Honorable Anne. Because of what is happening in Toroko. We always know every year River Nyamwamba as a must. When you look at the money we have spent to mitigate, you know, resettling, giving food, every year. So let's wait on Wednesday, honorable colleagues. Let's wait on Wednesday when the minister presents a report, and we shall have a long debate on this issue. Honorable Dr. Musa Noah.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the government has prioritized tourism as one of the key sectors to grow the economy of this country. during the regional meeting in Gulu, the issue of lack of artifacts and attractive features in regional tourist sites in the regions was raised. Yet in June, 28th June this year, the Minister of Government received artifacts from UK, 39 artifacts from UK. Those are artifacts which are taken by colonialists, and they are part of about 1,500 artifacts from Uganda that are lying in the University of Cambridge, Museum of Archaeology and Anthropology in the UK. These returned artifacts, it has been indicated that they are property of Museum of Archaeology in the UK. Yet these are Ugandan artifacts. And they are loaned to Uganda for initial period of 3 years with the possibility of extension. Now we have taken tourism as the key sector that we need to develop. This therefore means that we need to think of returning all the artifacts all over the world so that we can develop the tourist sector. My prayers is that I wanted the Minister of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities to brief this House and the nation on the arrangement of returning the 39 artifacts and clarify if indeed these artifacts are property of government of University of Cambridge, Museum of Anthropology and Archaeology. Secondly, I wanted the Minister of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities to brief us of the stock of artifacts from Uganda that are lying outside the country, in Europe, Britain, UK, and other countries. Thirdly, I wanted to know the preparations. Government should brief us about the preparations of taking this returned 39 artifacts to their different locations, because these are artifacts from Ankole, from Longo, from Buganda, and so on. The plan is to have this taken to those regions to develop tourism and museums in those regions. So I wanted to know the plans for relocating this artifact to their respective regions. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. On Tuesday, Minister for Tourism. Tuesday, to bring a statement. Kiza Nyendoha.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity. I rise on a matter pertaining the sharp collapse of sugarcane prices across the country that is defeating the principles of scarcity in economics. Around the close of the calendar year last year, the price of sugarcane per ton was ranging between 80,000 to 30,000 across the country. It has since collapsed, and it's a ton of sugarcane now is going for between 100,000 and 80,000. This is pushing farmers to leave the crop, and it's a bit a difficult situation, because normally when there is scarcity of a commodity, normally the price goes up. The same farmers are now failing to even purchase fertilizers, because sometime back we raised the issue of fertilizers being very overpriced, and we had been promised that the price would be handled. Right Honourable Speaker, sugar industry is a major contributor to the economy in the form of taxes and employment. My prayers, a comprehensive review of the sugar value chain should be undertaken to investigate the underlying causes of this sharp collapse of sugarcane prices. I implore government to retable the sugar amendment bill. They had brought it here, but the points of departure were very many. I thank you for ably chairing a meeting between the farmers and the millers and the ministry, where the ministry withdrew the bill, promising to go and reconsult and come back to the House with a better bill. The challenge we are having in that...
I thought you finished now.
This part of the prayers. That particular bill, one of the challenges was it was full of one veiled zoning.
Honourable Rule 80 of our rules of procedure, please.
I submit.
Thank you. Now, I just want to first put the record clear that the minister never withdrew the bill. Okay? The bill, yes, the minister requested to go and consult. And I also went an extra mile in those consultations. So, and something might be cooking up soon. But Honourable Minister, please, for trade.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is true that the price of sugarcane has come down because of a number of factors. And as you know, we are running a liberal economy, the only way government can intervene in a sector is through a piece of legislation. When we brought the bill here, Mr. Speaker, you participated in the negotiations, and the honorable member from Masindi was one of those that actually was opposing the continuation of the bill. So today I'm extremely happy that the honorable member has realized the point that we are making, and we have finished the consultations of the bill. Mr. Speaker, we are now ready to consider the bill so that the price setting, the minimum price of the sugarcane can be determined through a legislation. I thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Minister, I'll be waiting for communication because we agreed before we come back on the floor, we hold another meeting with the MPs from sugarcane growing areas to first reconcile. No, there is no one on the floor, so the rules. Honourable Kwekateria James, these are your rules, Honourable. I'm sorry.
Mr. Speaker, I have a matter of national importance, and this one concerns disaster that has befallen two primary schools in the Bunya County East, Isenda Primary School and the Baligasima Primary School. Mr. Speaker, in Isenda Primary School, 3 blocks were blown off, and one of them is the examination hall of the P7 pupils who are likely to sit within the next 1 month. And the villages around, like Namugolo, Isenda, and Chirewe were all affected. So my prayer, before the prayer, in Ibaligasima, 1 primary school, the roof was blown off.
Minister, I need your attention. Please, Honorable, correct. Let the minister first.
The room was, the one other roof was blown off from 1 block from Baligasima Primary School. My prayer, I'm requesting the Minister for Disaster to avail us with the necessary roofing materials to ensure that these P7 children sit for the exams, because there are actually serious Ugandans that need to pass. Mr. Speaker, that is my prayer.
Honourable Minister for Disaster Preparedness. Thank you, Honourable James.
Right, Honourable Speaker. Honourable James prayers about the roofing materials. What I can provide as a ministry, upon receiving the report from the disaster committee, will be the iron sheets. Therefore, I request the honourable member that please let the cow write to our ministry and attach the disaster committee report, and we'll be able to provide. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Honourable Minister for Education.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. I want to thank our Chair for Education Committee, Honourable James, for raising this critical issue, and really it is so sad that the disaster occurred in a primary school, especially where the candidate class are housed. But Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to add that the Chair is aware our Education Ministry has no budget for disaster. However, as Ministry of Education, we have provision in the budget as school facility grant, and there is a provision for school maintenance. This money is in every local government district. However, it's not meant for disaster. It is meant for the district to ensure we give a facelift to our schools, especially primary schools. But what I wanted to add here, in such an urgent matter where really learners cannot be able to sit for PLE, the district, we could ask them to prioritize and to ensure that part of these funds could really save the urgent situation other than allowing the children not to sit for their PLA. I beg to...
Thank you. Honourable Minister, I don't know whether you're sure that that money is already at the districts, but honourable colleagues, I received a request from the government chief whip. There are around 6 cases, 6 members whom he wants to redesignate. So I just want to grant that request. Government Chief Whip, please, you can do it now.
Right Honourable Speaker, I move under Rule 1510C and Rule 162 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament to designate with the approval of this House the following members to the following standing committees. Honourable Segumire Mohamed Chibedi to the Committee of Park Central. Honorable Kambale Ferigo to the Committee of Park Local Government. Honorable Mujungu Thembo to the Committee of Kosase. And secondly, pursuant to Rule 1510C and Rule 187, Sub-Rule 1 of the Rules of Procedure, I move that the following members with the approval of this House be designated to the following sectoral committees. Honorable Cherokut Rose Hema, Natural Resources. Honorable Katresije Oliver K, Natural Resources. Honorable Akampoli Raprosi Mbabazi, Committee on Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, I beg to move.
Thank you. Honourable members, I put a question that the members be designated to the committees proposed. Those in favour say to the contrary nay. The ayes have it. Next item.
Item 3 on the other paper, statements by ministers on 1, release of capitation grants in preparation for term 3 opening of schools.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to present a statement on the release of funds for capitation grant for financial year 2024-25, as I made a commitment before this House yesterday. Right Honourable Speaker, during the 16th sitting of the first meeting of the 4th session of the 11th Parliament of Uganda, held on Tuesday, 17 September 2024, I made a commitment to provide a statement on the release for capitation grant for financial year 2024-25. Right Honourable Speaker, funds for capitation grant are released in line with the school calendar year during the 1st, 3rd, and 4th quarters every financial year to cater for the term 3, term 1, and term 2 respectively. No funds are released in second quarter for the financial year. Right Honourable Speaker, the total approved budget for the capitation grants for financial year 2024-25 is Uganda shillings 490.298 billion. During the first quarter, the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development released Uganda shillings 163.433 billion to local governments to cater for term 3 as shown in the table below. I invite members to look at the figures as they are on the screen. Right Honourable Speaker, whereas Ministry of Finance released the capitation grant in the first quarter the Ministry of Education and Sports requested accounting officers of local governments and Kampala Capital City Authority to hold the transfer of these funds to institutions until the schools, education and sports, noted discrepancies in the online education management system, data submitted by the head teachers, and the ministry intends to ensure that enrollment numbers are not inflated. Mr. Speaker, sir, based on the information from Ministry of Education and Sports, 113 local governments have to date been cleared to transfer the capitation grants to the respective institutions, and the remaining have been reminded to submit their validated enrollments before they can be cleared to pay. The instructions from Ministry of Education and Sports to this effect, dated 9 September 2024, is also attached as Annex 2. Right Honorable Speaker, I have also attached Annex 3 showing the total budget and the first quarter releases corresponding to term 3 of the capitation grant for financial year 2024-25 for each local government for further information to this House. Mr. Speaker, I submit.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. Minister for Education. Because how are other schools going to operate?
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. And I stand here, first of all, to confirm that the Ministry of Finance have issued circular on 10th July this year on expenditure limits as the Minister has presented in her paper. Number two, I stand to confirm that the Ministry of Education and Sports issued a statement to all local government and KCCA on 23rd of July this year during term 2, and the statement was very clear before children could go for second term holiday. We issued a statement that all...
Honourable Minister, please go on.
Thank you. Thank you for protecting me, Mr. Speaker. The ministry issued a statement for all head teachers to verify the enrollment of learners using head count and to put this in writing so that we correlate the ones we have in soft copy emails together with the head count information. And I confirm this was done. And Mr. Speaker, this has been done because there were disparity as the minister has presented. I just wanted to finish, then you clarify later, please.
Honourable Member, I guided, you mentioned it twice, you take your seat. I don't want it to generate harassment of the colleague on the floor. Yeah, clarification is the option, it's optional.
Thank you, Mr.
mandatory.
Speaker. Number three, I want to confirm that according to the letter the Ministry of Education has issued on the 9th September permitting payment to local government of 113 following the verification. But as I speak today, 18th of September, we have a total of 158 local government that have been cleared so that the funds can be disbursed to the respective schools based on the verified enrollment. And they are now allowed, the 158 local governments, we have permitted the schools to receive the funds. However, the remaining local governments that have not submitted their verification document, which is head count, those ones will be submitted as soon as we receive the document. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, Mr. Speaker, I think I have more authority on this matter. I will probably allow my sister at a later time. As I conclude, The ministry has cleared, as I said, 58 local government, and we hope 158 out of 177. Now, we have already communicated by 30th of September, this very month, we want all local government to be cleared and all schools receive their funds. And I can confirm, before this week ends, the 158 local governments, the schools will receive their funds because they have submitted, they are verified, and we have confirmed. And finally, we will continue to do more sensitization to the district and head teachers on the importance.
Honorable Asinas, please take your seat. Please. Honorable Minister, continue.
We will continue to sensitize the public, the head teachers, and the district on the importance of data. Data for planning, data for using, utilizing, and planning for our finances. I want to thank you, much as we acknowledge, Mr. Speaker, there are challenges in primary schools in terms of managing the database, in terms of entering the names of the learners into the software. But we are continuing to sensitize and to improve on collecting this data. I commit that all will be well before 30th September. I beg to submit.
Thank you. This issue was raised by Honorable Seungu. Honorable Seungu. Honorable colleagues, there is a misconception, and please, I want it to be understood. I hear procedure takes precedence. Procedure takes precedence. Please, the Speaker is the custodian of rules. I can look at your face, I know what you're raising is not even procedure. And many of you on several occasions, you juggle between procedure, clarification to what? You know, you go on a wild goose chase until you land on what you think. I must stand up. No, please. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I want to correct the Minister for Finance, and I'm addressing his statement. On the table, he told us to look at on the screen. Look at your the approved budget was 298 billion. On your first page, the table told us to address on the screen. 298 billion. That is the money we approved.
Honorable, read the total budget approved.
The total budget.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I'm going to the capitation grant. That's the category 1, primary education, non-wage recurrent. So we approved 298 billion. Quarter 1 released 99.58 billion. Proposed release quarter 3 was 99, and the fourth one is 99 billion something. Then there is, when you add up that money, it comes 280 billion. So where is the 90 billion? Kindly address yourself to that area. So you have 280 billion so far you have released, but we approved 298, and the 90 billion is not seen where it is supposed to be. Mr. Speaker, let me thank the Minister of Education. And indeed, I'm still winning my issue I raised yesterday, that there is no capitation grant in schools. Parents, children, and the teachers are not aware of what you are talking about. When a school is beginning, you need the money to run that school. If you are dealing with validation, that is yours. The weakness of Ministry of Education cannot impact on our children. Because if you have not sent money to schools now, and you are telling us you stopped districts, you gave them, you have called it a statement. I don't know whether it's a statement or a directive. I don't know how you communicate to your local governments. Do you communicate to them through statements or you give directives for validation? Schools must continue running. And I talked to the minister here. As we talk now, you have schools in Kampala, Mr. Speaker, Buganda Road, Bati Valley, Chitand. All these schools don't have pit latrines. They use, I can take the information, and then I will. Can I finish the point on I will?
Just give information on the challenges. Through the Speaker, the information I want to give to a colleague and the whole House is that among the challenges why this exercise of validating the numbers of children in our schools is becoming difficult in many areas is that one of the requirements, they need a NIN of a parent or a guardian for it to be complete. Many people do not have national identity cards, so they don't have the NINs to provide. And the schools find it difficult to submit incomplete information where they have failed to get NINs. Secondly, I got an example in my constituency. A guardian who is looking after orphans refused to offer his NIN because of a misinformation that if you provide your NIN for registration of these children, tomorrow when you die, they are entitled to your property as inheritance. So they refuse to give their NINs.
So, Mr. Speaker, I think the Ministry of Education, in their admission, they themselves are saying they have refused to release the funds through them. And as I was stating, Mr. Speaker, Bati Valley, Buganda Road, they don't have pit latrines. They use that money to pay for national water and electricity. So that means now they might even cut off their water. When I talked to the minister before we entered, Mr. Speaker, we are talking very well. When I sought for clarification, she refused. But let us talk the truth, honorable members. We need an audit. We need an audit of UPE schools in Uganda. Can you give us the status of these UPE schools? It is these members of parliament who are building toilets for UPE schools, who are constructing, putting in blackboards, painting and everything. The little money you are giving is useless, but you are not sending it in time. You have talked about let me first, Honorable, I'm going to give you because you have talked about 113 districts which have been cleared. The Minister of Finance says that 113. You are saying 158. But even those cleared have not yet got the money. And what's happening? Members of parliament are called by head teachers to give them assistance to buy boxes of chalk, red pens, and blue pens. So where are we heading? But you know we are going for PLE. A full chairman of the Committee of Education is here also having a challenge of his schools because the roofs were blown off. But he's our chair of the Committee of Education.
Now,
so, can I take the information as I...
Because now you're taking over my role.
No, Mr. Speaker,
I gave you an opportunity.
Mr. Speaker, just
I see you're donating.
Mr. Speaker,
donating
Mr. Speaker, since you have said...
Donate to one person. Just
okay,
pick
then I
one
will
person.
conclude the brief. Just one.
You couldn't give 10 RM.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for giving away. Right, Honorable Speaker, whereas we appreciate the statement of the Minister, I also want to put to her attention that the number of teachers who are removed from the payroll countrywide, both teachers from primary schools and secondary schools. It is 7 months down the road. They have not been paid, reinstated. And they have been teaching, and they're still expected to be in class. And as I speak now, Right Honorable Speaker, these teachers are in class teaching. I want the Honorable Minister to clarify on what government has done to ensure that these teachers are back to have been reinstated back on their payroll.
Thank
I submit, Right Honorable
Now, just
Speaker.
wait, Honorable Songo. On that issue, it's teachers, then headless workers, and the Minister for Public Service had promised that she was concluding on the process of verification. Honorable Minister for Public Service, do you have? Because this came from public service. For education, for headless.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, honourable members. People were removed from the payroll after the audit validation. But of recent, some people have been reinstated depending on how their accounting officers are owning them. Some did not have the requirements to be validated there and then. Some did not have as they go back to their local governments, they are verified by their accounting officers, and slowly people are being reinstated. But I want to commit, Right Honorable, that we are going to bring a comprehensive report to the members of parliament for information.
Oh, no, can we have it on Wednesday?
Yes, sir.
And kind of categorize for us.
Yes.
Health workers, these one teachers, and all that. And then we will go into detail on that matter.
Okay, much obliged.
So, Mr. Speaker.
Wednesday next week.
Mr. Speaker.
In fact, Honourable Minister, in your statement also show us the ones you have really confirmed are ghost workers, so that we know the validation exercise helped us to clean up in the whole, not only the districts, but the whole system. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I also want to thank my brother Sewungu for accepting me to ask him a question. You said in category 1, under primary education, non-wage recurrent, our budget is 298.7 billion. And in quarter 1, we released 99.58. In quarter 3, we shall release the same. And in quarter 4, the same. 99.5 times 3 is 298. You are saying 90 is missing. Would you like to revisit your numbers?
He said it is 280, so around
it is
the balance is missing.
You get 280 divided by 3, simple mathematics, and you'll get the figure.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. But you have been here. We have been here for the same time. How can a clarification be responded by the same clarification? You should be giving me the right figure now. So I think you have not answered, and I will give you mine after this house, because this is your document.
No, Honourable, you cannot raise issues here,
Mr.
then you
Speaker,
handle them outside the house.
Yeah, because
they are handled here.
Mr. Speaker, you see, I read this figure, I gave him the total, and I showed him the 280 billion he has released, and I was telling him that there's 90 billion I'm not seeing. And as the Minister of Finance, he cannot seek for clarification where I've also sought for clarification. He must correct this. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, Mr. Speaker.
The two of you are dodging each other, and me bring in security to help me in case you continue with that behavior.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable. I know Honourable Joseph Gozanga Sewungu very much. He joined this parliament about the same time. Professional teacher turned a lawyer. He has actually admitted, without saying, that the figures he was giving, he had not seen. Now that certified accountant has given the figures, the matter is settled.
Mr. Speaker, I know we shall get a lot of misleading information here. The Honourable Minister who is talking about figures, he doesn't even have a single paper referring to the matter I'm talking about.
Let me settle it. Let me settle it very easy. Crack, add for me the figure, and we shall read it for you.
And the council will face their wrath. Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude my response to the Minister in this form. Teaching children is not about entering class and the teachers start talking. They ask people, their local governments to release this money.
Maybe, Honourable Sewungu, sorry for interruption. Honourable Minister, there is a way you handle universities. Okay? Universities, all fees is paid to the consolidated fund. And you front load before the students pay. You front load it to the universities. And then they are required to go and ensure they correct that fees. When a university doesn't correct the amount which was front loaded, then the balance is deducted from funds for the next quarter. Now, since we are at the beginning of the term, why not release money to these schools? Because headmasters, parents, they don't know about all these issues you're talking about. Then you give these schools a deadline. For those schools which will validate and you find that they had given a number beyond, okay? No, less than what you released money for, you deduct that money from funds for the next quarter. Very simple, like you do for universities. Why don't we do that? Because really, I see a crisis here. What Honorable Sewungu is raising here is a very critical issue. These schools need to start operating. They are now disturbing us, politicians saying fundraise, fundraise, fundraise. Why can't we do that, Honorable Minister?
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for guiding us. Moving forward, we will take that into consideration as you have guided. But for the case of this term, as we have stated, the minister has already said as of 9th September, 113 local government have already been told to be paid. But as of today, 18th of September, I've mentioned 158 local government, and meaning that out of 177, the cows should be able to release that money at any time, because they have been told to disburse the funds into the respective schools. So I want to take your advice seriously. Moving forward from next school calendar, we could be able to take that format. But as of this one, I think the remaining few local government, I believe this week it will be done. I thank you.
Let's first Honorable Sewungu, let's allow Honorable Muzare, then you conclude.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, my concern is one. In a district, there are so many schools. You may find a situation that about 3 schools have not been verified. Now, it is affecting the entire district. My worry is, what is the plan for those schools that have verified and have been approved, and they are only affected by those that have failed? We need to have a solution.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, is that true, that you wait for the whole district to first clear? And then number 2, what punitive measures have you put in place for head teachers who are not complying?
Mr. Speaker, my statement is clear. A letter has already been written to the minister has already attached it here. It is written on the 9th of September to all local government accounting officers and the executive director of KCCA. And the heading is Release Advice for First Quarter, Term 3 for Financial Year 2024-2025. And I think if, as the minister has presented, if you go through this letter, which has been sent on the 9th of September, the total number of 113 local government, the accounting officers have been ordered to release the funds.
Yes, but Honorable Minister, what Honorable Muzari is saying, that all accounting officers, okay, at least I don't think we have a district that has no single school that has complied. So you are failing to clear that single school which has complied, because the rest of the schools have not complied. So what Honorable Martin Muzari is saying, for you write to accounting officers, for schools which have complied, you release, not districts. This is school-based, it's not district-based. Yes, Honorable.
Let us agree. Honorable Minister, through the Speaker, let us release the funds and the other exercise goes on. Because we need this money to run schools. There is no, you have no other shortcut. Finance released the money. You stopped it. Allow this money to be utilized as you look at the teachers and the district leadership who are not carrying out your directives.
Thank you, Honorable.
And lastly, Mr. Speaker, my prayer, and I request you, Mr. Speaker, if it pleases, that you either direct the Committee of Education, we get status of UPE schools in Uganda. On the UPE, let me talk about UPE, I will not go to SE, so that we get a report here and see what we can do. Otherwise, what we are having in our schools, in our constituencies, is appalling. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable Minister, would you want to
Mr. Speaker, I want to commit.
Yes.
And I've listened
Yeah.
to the logic of the local government as opposed to the schools. And I want to commit that we will look at that and we will implement as per the directive. I thank you.
Thank you.
We will do that immediately,
And a
Mr.
comment
Speaker.
on the one of UPE schools. Honorable Sewungu is saying we need a status report of the UPE schools in the country. How much time would you need?
Well, I think you could give us a month. We could look at that and bring the report.
Sorry?
1 month.
1 month.
Thank you.
Yes. Honorable Sewungu has said it's not enough. We give you 2 months. Please. Honorable Sewungu, you don't need to go back on the floor. Just, 2 months. And Honorable colleagues, when the report comes, it's when we send it to the committee. I cannot send a committee to go looking for a report.
Mr. Speaker, is it okay to have 3 months?
3
So
months.
that you give us time.
3 months granted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, for the record, I want the record to be clear. Please. I want the record to be clear on the issue of the total where the lawyer disagreed with the accountant. I assigned our technical bench to give us the total. So the figure is 298.74, which is exactly the one the accountant, who happens to be a minister, gave. So 1 need in favor of Honorable Msasuzi. Next item.
Item 3.2, statement by Minister on termination of contracts of part-time teaching staff of Chambogo University and non-payment of their due wages and salaries.
Thank you. Let me first receive a procedure matter from Honorable.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Mine is related to the report that you requested for on the payroll, regarding the payroll from the Minister of Public Service. Right Honourable Speaker, the report on the consolidated payroll was referred to the Committee of Public Accounts Central. So I would request that our report is also presented because it's ready. We present it and also she brings hers because it's already submitted to your office. I request that it is given priority on the other paper.
Sure, Honorable Chair. What I need, let me look at your report, okay, and then I will guide. But let the minister go on and prepare the statement with regard to what I requested. Honorable Minister for Education.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. I stand to present a statement on the non-payment and discontinuation of part-time teaching staff by Chambogo University Management. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members, the Minister of Education and Sports received the concerns raised by Honourable Margaret, the Member of Parliament for Workers, on the non-payment and discontinuation of part-time teaching staff by Chambogo University Management. We wish to respond as follows, Mr. Speaker. Number 1, the cost estimated or the cost establishment for Chambogo University is as reflected on Table 1 below. We can see on Table 1 the total number of staff that has been filled as opposed to the established number of 1,390. We have currently only 30% of academic staff that has been filled, meaning that 70% of academic staff position remains vacant. You can also see for the administrative staff as well as for the support staff right over there. Mr. Speaker, number 2, with the current wage of Ugandan shillings 67.17 billion against the costed establishment of Ugandan shilling 191.3 billion. This guarantees just only 35% of the staffing at the university, and it leaves a gap of 65%. Number 3, the teaching staff gap of 70% is filled by searching for part-time staff to undertake the teaching and the learning in the university. In the academic year 2023-2024, Kyambogo University employed a total of 1,084 staff across the faculty schools and the learning centers. The wages for the part-time lecturers and technicians is catered for under the vote item for allowances from the non-wage budget line. This is released quarterly, and it suffers from budget cuts, which was worst during the COVID pandemic, during which the university ran 2 academic years with 1 financial year. During the financial year, Mr. Speaker, 2023-2024, the budget line for allowances, which caters for the part-time staff, suffered a budget cut of 2.6 billion. This definitely results in non-payment of part-time teaching staff, which the claims we're talking about, and hence it has accumulated into arrears. The proposed intervention is that the Ministry of Public Service and the Ministry of Finance increases the wage for Kyambogo University so that we are able to fill the critical vacant positions in the approved structure. The areas for the part-time staff currently, it stands at 6,743,716,266 shillings. That is the areas. Right, Honorable Speaker, this quarter, the university received Ugandan shillings 149 million, of which Ugandan shillings 52 million was for utilities and 97 million for other expenses. This is inadequate, as you can see, to pay the above outstanding arrears of over 6 billion for part-time teaching staff. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, the recruitment of part-time teaching staff is dependent on the needs of the department, that where the full-time staff cannot meet the requirement for the teaching. This need is reflected as the teaching load, and recruitment of part-time teaching staff is carried out every semester, depending on the teaching gaps and the qualification of the applicants. Prior to the academic year 2024-25, part-time teaching staff were singularly recruited by heads of department who would submit their names for appointment. However, management and appointment board of the university decided to enforce the regulations. They put in place standards and quality by identifying the part-time staffing needs, advertising the positions, and considering the recommendations from the departments and the faculties and the schools as required by procedures. Those who were not selected to teach in semester 1 of academic year 24-25 are those who do not meet the job requirements. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, the policy for recruitment part-time lecturers on the long tenure is still under consideration by the University Council, and I beg to submit, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. I start with the member who raised the matter, then I go to Honorable Kabulindi. And I hope Honorable Florence will guide us a little on this matter, Dr. Florence Akiki.
Right Honorable Speaker, I thank you once again for giving me this opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I said yesterday that the required staff is 1,281 full-time staff, but the university have 401. So meaning that that's a third of the required staff. We talked about the current deficit of 5.6 billion. It's good the minister has even added on to, it's now 6 billion, which is required. The people we talked about, the part-time staff, were needed because they don't have the staff required. Full-time staff is required, but at the same time, these people, the human resource, we are directed to get other part-time staff, and the others who had not been paid were laid off. So I see there a problem that the workers are undergraded, or they are nothing, because they also have family, but we don't look at it. And they were clear to say, right on our speaker, that it's necessary to get a committee to investigate, because now we are talking between, I think my honorable minister, who has presented, told me that they got it late, and they got it from the person or from the university itself. So there is need for us. We know what we are going through as Ugandans these days. So it would be important that we get a separate good team of members of parliament of your choice to go and find out the truth. Because it's like we are saying, the person we are saying has a problem, he's defended by giving the answer without intervention. So there are issues there that we need to clear, so that these people can also, they can know that they are Ugandans, and surely if they are Ugandans, they need salary like any other. We talked about the forensic audit, which shouldn't be necessary. What has been the trend? Then that is when we shall get the truth. But someone is standing, the leader of the team in Kyambogo, when he sits and it's a rebuttal, we shall not get the truth.
Thank you.
That's what I think. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, number one, forensic audits are very expensive. Now, when we order forensic audit, Kyambogo University should pay for it. They don't have money to pay staff. Now they get 1 billion to pay auditors for forensic audit, because the Auditor General doesn't have a budget for forensic audit. Yeah? And you remember, I had clarified on that issue, and the Auditor General is the staff of Parliament. Remember. Number two, honorable colleagues, maybe I can just give you some little information on issues of this nature. I happen to be on the University Council of Makera, and I chaired the Finance and Administration Committee for 5 years. We were grappling with the same. We were grappling with the same issue of part-time staff. And of course, as a chair, it really concerned me at that time. So what we did, number one, we did an audit of the timetable to see whether staff are having the maximum teaching load before you could recruit part-time staff. Because we found some professors had 0 teaching hours. And if you, for those who know, there is a trend that had gone on. You remember when Honorable Dennis Odekarit, when I was doing my social sciences course, at first I was taught by professors. But now I could hear that students are being taught by teaching assistants. Professors are for research, and they are doing their consultancies. They don't want to teach. So how do they do it? They ensure they don't get teaching load so that they have all this time. But I'm told a lot of things have changed. So we did indeed an audit. We discovered that. And with that audit, it helped us now to say, no, each one must have maximum teaching load. And it reduced tremendously the number, the required numbers. Teaching load per week should be minimum 10 hours, maximum 12 hours. Because you need time for research, you need time for mentoring students and all that. And then we also said we calculated the cost of extra time versus part-time. Because part-time is prone to abuse. People create a need because they are creating employment. So we said no. This money, for example, the 6 billion, we said convert it into, we requested Ministry of Finance, it allowed us to convert in those people to recruit so that people can be now permanent, and then on top of their extra on the top of their maximum teaching load, they could take on extra hours in the evening at 50,000 per day. Now, there you have a situation, even when money delays for extra hours, at least someone has a salary. But now, someone who has nothing apart from teaching at a university and for 3 months has not received any payment, you know, what do you do? You'll find they are in a crisis. And that's when the suspicion comes in, how you recruit, how you do that. So I felt I should share that information with you from the experience that we had. And now you no longer hear those quarrels, because you cannot achieve 100% establishment of the establishment, but at least you should reach somewhere and you're able to progress. Honorable Kaburindi, then Honorable Florence Akeke.
Thanks very much, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members. Part-time teaching staff, either they were recruited in a right way or wrong way, and they are not ghost workers, they are entitled to their payment. They have families. And to make it worse, you are terminating their services. How do you expect them to go? Before you come in on how you're going to fill the gaps and what have you, first deal with this. Say bye-bye to them with their package. Then we go back to the advice the speaker has given, how do we correct the mistake? But to me to say because they were part-time teaching, now we have terminated them because we have got teaching gaps, does not answer the question. Let us teach them like human beings, like the way we are here. Some of you are here, you are part-time teaching staff in universities, and now you are members of parliament. Please, with due respect, I would expect the minister to tell me the way forward on how we are going to get the 6 billion, and we will say farewell to our colleagues. I thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Florence Akiki.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. It's good the workers' representative has said it, that a mistake was made, and indeed it was made. But why it was made, these people have to be paid. Right Honorable Speaker, part-time teaching supplements the resource gap at universities. And indeed, what you have shared with us, while I was still a lecturer at Makerere University, we had that challenge, as you are also part of the council. And indeed, what took place there reduced that challenge. This Honorable Minister, I'm so worried. We are talking of 6 billion. And you have only been able to advance 149 million. What a gap. Yes, 6 billion, and we have only been able to advance 149 million. It's a big issue here. What magic? We need a magician here. Where are we going to get this money? And my sister, I really sympathize with you. Government, where are you? Honestly, as this worker is saying, 6 billion has to be got. We are tired of these supplementaries. I don't know what we can do. Can we have some solution? Where do we get the 6 billion? And two, URA collects all the money of universities. We used to have this money collected at the universities. So all the money now was collected, all of it. URA. Because they said we were giving them wrong data. They didn't know the number of students. They said, okay, now we have got you. We want to see how much you collect. So can you tell us how much you are collecting vis-a-vis what you are giving back? I submit.
Thank you.
Professor, thank you.
Yes, Honorable Bwanuka, Honorable Emmanuel Yongiso.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, with academic staffing level of 30% at Chambogo, I'm worried with the quality of education from that university. If they only have 30% of the staff required, and we are here saying that that university is producing the quality products for this country, there is a problem. A university degree, any discipline, there must be a number of professors, a number of PhDs at the senior level, lecturers. Right Honorable Speaker, you are in the council and you have rightly guided. We need an audit in the University of Chambogo so that we will understand, because we are here thinking that they are producing products. Right Honorable Speaker, there are problems with the quality of products from our universities now. It is not the same. The way part-time lecturers teach and give their time to a student is very different from a permanent lecturer. Very, very different. I want to request, Right Honorable Speaker, that you guide, let the Ministry of Education do an audit and bring back that report so that it will guide our debate. I thank you.
But universities somehow, colleagues, have made some progress. I remember when we were doing, I'm trying to see who was my classmate, Martin Muzari sometimes could attend class. Yeah. So there are some who are here. But there is what we had, we called it studying by rumor at that time. Now, the way of studying by rumor, we would be very many and the crowd would be small. So some you would stand in the compound and then you keep asking, what did the lecturer say? Now, if you landed on a stubborn person like Honorable Muzari, the notes he would give you, he would give you opposite of what the lecturer has said. So we started by rumor, but now like on infrastructure, we are doing well. And with the ADB project. In fact, Honorable Minister for Environment, I'll be waiting again to hear from you. I had told my people to write on the issue of Guru University. On the issue of Guru University, where we built using ADB money on land, and we have failed to give to give that title to the university, when we are the ones who borrowed money as a government and built there. And then after we said it's a forest. So that one really, I don't know. I don't know, but we have to sort out that issue. When we came from Guru, it was a big issue. I visited the university. But that will be for later, Honorable Minister. So, Honorable colleague, there is some improvement. I don't know where it started by rumor. Honorable Mr.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And I hope out of the learning by rumor, we don't have MPs of rumor also. But the point I want to bring here is that we are talking about Chambogo University, but this problem is in all universities. Right. And I don't think there is another time we are going to be talking about Muni University, Gulu University. I think we should talk about all these universities now. And by the way, the 30% teaching staff in Chambogo is even better than in some other universities, particularly the fairly new ones. The fairly new ones, majority of them are at 25% teaching staff. So you see what that means. And in that case, if we are going to take a decision on either to do an audit, particularly the way you guided, Right Honorable Speaker, it has to be done for all public universities. And Right Honorable Speaker, there is one thing I have also noticed. It's not only in the universities. The other higher institutions of learning also have similar problems. We have a UCC in Pakwach, and that UCC in Pakwach has a similar problem. And some years back, actually, they were using the part-time staff or recruitment of part-time staff, to me, was to perpetuate even dictatorship in these universities. For you, who comes in, you have to be so submissive. You shouldn't even be reasoning. And immediately you start to argue with the university, even on right things, you are sent away. Because there are many others out there who want to come in. So somehow we need to look at all these things, and we need to allow some minimum level of discussions from these teachers or from these lecturers. A number of them use it as a tool for stifling discussions at the universities. Right Honorable Speaker, that is my submission. Thank you.
Thank you. I had allowed Honorable Garwango.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I just want to re-emphasize that staffing levels of all public universities is wanting. Right Honorable Speaker, there is one with 12%. And when you imagine a university operating at 12%, Chambogo is at least at 30. What products are we getting? I pray that this August House handles this expeditiously, that Chambogo has been an eye-opener. But all universities. However, if universities are like that, it's worse at lower levels, beginning from primary schools, Right Honorable Speaker. You find 7 teachers in a whole school. We must have a deliberate move to see that staffing of all institutions is handled so that we really talk of quality education in this nation, Right Honorable Speaker. Otherwise, if we do not do that, we are going to end up badly. And we must note that the part-timers are the ones that are holding these universities. They're the ones that are doing the donkey work. And if they are not paid, it's quite sad. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
You see, Honorable colleagues, the issue of part-timers cannot sustain a university. Because a university is not a secondary school that you go on a chalkboard, you write, you read notes, and they go. No, there is mentorship, there is research. In fact, most of the work should be in research. You can't put a part-timer in research, and development of new knowledge. So the issue of part-timers, really, it cannot be a solution. We must get staff. We have a former guild president of Chambogo. No, let's first listen to the former guild president. Okay. Okay, Honorable Chivumbi. Then the former guild president.
Right Honorable Speaker, I've carefully listened to the issues this House is grappling with. But Honorable Speaker, an office of this Parliament, with the Auditor General, and carried out comprehensive audit of all these issues we are talking about, from every university to every hospital to every other institution. And if you could give time, because he was saying we don't cherry pick, if you could give time, our report on university as PAC is ready. Our report on oral referral hospital is ready. Our report on all government ministries is ready. If you could allocate time, we table this report, go through all the staff gaps in hospitals, land issues, then this Parliament will have a very comprehensive debate on this issue.
Honorable Chivumbi, I had not seen these reports. I usually advise chairpersons that on top of submitting to the clerk, also give a copy to the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker.
Right Honorable Speaker, I've not only given your office a copy, I've only even written to your office of the Speaker saying these reports are ready.
I will check with the office of the Speaker, but
yes,
I haven't seen on my desk. So, but what I'll do tomorrow, okay? I'm going to start tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to get some, okay? Starting with tomorrow after here, we are going to see which ones are quick, and we start working on those reports, okay? Yes, former President, Chambogo University. I campaigned for her at that time, and I was deployed by Honorable Chivumbi.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. First of all, I can't forget that. You were there when I was running for office at that university. Mr. Speaker, I must say that I've been to Chambog of recent, and you can see the good infrastructure. But you cannot get quality education without